From Washington, this is VOA News. 4 killed in blast aboard an Egyptian tour bus. Afghan insurgent group to join the presidential election. I'm Ray Kouguell reporting from Washington. An explosion ripped through a tourist bus near Egypt's border with Israel, killing 3 South Korean tourists and their Egyptian driver Sunday. The bus, carrying 33 tourists, was on the way from St. Catherine's Monastery in central Sinai to Israel when it exploded at the border crossing in Taba. The South Korean Foreign Ministry confirmed the death of 2 of its nationals. It says the tourists were members of a Christian church group. Security officials say the cause of the bombing remains unclear. Suspected Islamist militants have killed more than 90 Christian villagers in an attack in northeastern Nigeria. Witnesses say the suspected militants, dressed as soldiers, attacked a village in Borno State late Saturday night. There's been no immediate claim of responsibility, but authorities suspect the Islamist militant group Boko Haram was behind the attack. Emergency workers in South Africa have rescued almost a dozen miners trapped in an abandoned gold mine east of Johannesburg. Rescue workers used heavy-duty equipment to remove large rocks and boulders that fell on top of the mine shaft. Officials have been in contact with about 30 of the trapped miners, who say around 200 others were stuck in the tunnels deep below surface. Police at the scene say some of the trapped miners were reluctant to emerge because of fears they would be arrested. The miners went down into the mine on Saturday after illegally digging a tunnel near the abandoned mine shaft. They were discovered after police patrolling the area heard their calls for help. A key Afghan group fighting alongside the Taliban against NATO forces announced it will formally participate in the upcoming presidential elections in Afghanistan. Ray Kouguell reports.
The announcement to participate in the election by the Hizb-e-Islami faction is seen as a blow to the Taliban-led insurgency in Afghanistan. Led by fugitive former Afghan Prime Minister Gulbuddin Hekmatyar, the insurgent group is the second largest after the Taliban. While the Hizb-e-Islami faction fought alongside the Taliban against coalition forces, it had been a rival to the Taliban while it was in power. It has until now stayed away from presidential elections, citing the presence of coalition forces in Afghanistan. The polls are being described as crucial for future stability in the country, and it will be the first time in the troubled Afghan history that power will be transferred through a democratic process. Ayaz Gul for VOA News, Islamabad.
There are 11 candidates in the race to replace President Hamid Karzai, who is barred by the Constitution for running a 3rd time. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry told an Indonesian audience that climate change is a threat to the entire world. Secretary Kerry said the science of climate change is compelling the world to act, and the world's 2 biggest superpowers, the U.S. and China, have agreed to work together on the problem.
Together, we account for roughly 40% of the world's emissions. But this is not just about China and the United States. It's about every country on Earth doing whatever it can to pursue cleaner and healthier energy sources.
Secretary Kerry says 97% of scientists agree climate change is occurring and is being caused by human activity. Anti-government protesters in the Ukrainian capital Kiev have vacated City Hall to meet a government amnesty offer. The end of the 2-month occupation came on Sunday after the government made concessions and released detained protesters. Iraqi radical Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr announced his retirement from politics. In a handwritten note posted on his website Sunday, Sadr announced his non-intervention in all political affairs. He said he was closing down all his offices except for some charities. Sadr and his militia group, the Mehdi Army, gained prominence after the U.S.-led invasion of Iraq in 2003. 4 countries won Olympic gold medals Sunday at the Sochi Games in Russia, with the Netherlands sweeping the top 3 places in the 1,500-meter women's speed skating event. The Czech Republic won its first gold, taking the women's snowboarding cross event. Norway won the men's Super G. Sweden claimed the gold in the men's 4x10-kilometer cross-country relay. The Netherlands leads with 17 total medals, followed by the United States and Russia with 16. Germany has the most gold medals at 7. I'm Ray Kouguell, VOA News. Details on these and other stories on our website at voanews.com.